My first ever business was in the service industry. And you may be wondering, which is this business in the service industry? I used to repair shoes. I was a cobbler. One day as I was leaving school, used to be in our public primary school where you used to walk, sometimes we wear shoes and many other things. We used to pass through a shopping center. Basically a shopping center, you'll have shops and many other things, but there's this guy who used to repair shoes. So he used to pass there every day. One day I decided to look at what he was doing. And I got quite curious and interested. And I was looking at how he was moving was venye alikuwa na shona. And I just looked at the tools of trade he had and how he was doing it. And then realized this thing is not difficult. I'm this one curious person. So when I was home that evening, I tried to do what we were doing. I basically tried to make the needle. You can use a wire, a piece of wood, and a hacksaw. Then you get to make that needle. I was able to do that. Then I got a knife that I can use to cut, and the Uzis were easily available from the shops. I started with my torn slippers, then it went to the shoes, and then realized I can do it so well. For a few weeks I was able to do it better than this other guy from my own review. So that's how it started. And I remember when it started, I started with my mother, my brother's slippers and shoes. And when my mother realized I can do that, this thing about chamas, women chamas and all that, I think she might have shared about my capabilities to some other neighbors. And I started getting people coming to ask for my services. And that was my first business. We used to charge 5 shillings, 10 shillings. And when you go to the shopping center, that Sunday, we used to watch videos. It used to be very interesting. The reason I'm sharing this story, and many more I'll share after this, I'm asking myself, do you have hidden talents and capabilities that you have that you are not exploiting? You may have pursued a very clean academic angle. You have done degrees, but you have inbuilt capabilities that you are not using as we speak. Some people might have known by the time they were kids that they could sing, they could be very good artists, they could be maybe very good leaders, very good sportsmen. I have friends who used to be very good in football in high school. You have these capabilities that were identified when you are a kid, but you are no longer using them. I want to also note that most of the top comedians, musicians, artists in the country, even sportsmen, some of them never pursued a certain path. They just practiced and they just identified and knew they had a talent. So for me, from the beginning, I knew I was meant to do business at some point. It's something that I found exciting as much as my academic prowess was very good. It used to top all the classes I went to. So for more of these stories, I'll be sharing more. My name is Reuben Kimani. I'm the CEO of Username Investment Limited. You have been watching my episode and my stories before. Today I'd like to share some of the businesses I've done before and maybe convince you to also pursue an angle based on your passion, talents and interest in life, even if you have pursued another line as we speak. They say life begins at 40. It is not too late to start pursuing your passion in life. Have I done business all my life? The answer is no. I left my employment 3 years ago. I've been employed for a long time. And employment is so important because I have learned many things. So back to my cobbler story. I advanced my skill when I went to high school. I used to make modest income, never used to ask for money to save from my parents, got a bit independent, learned values of hard work, learned how to negotiate. Somebody used to bring a slipper, they say 10, they say you must charge me 5, you get to a compromise. Even sometimes offering at a credit. I advanced the skill in high school. In high school, it actually became a serious business. Used to buy a lot of materials for doing the job. From Form 1, I started small, then my roommates realized I can do a very good job, repair their shoes. Most people are not from very rich background, so they could not afford new shoes, especially in high school. So they have to keep bringing it to me. And in high school, even 5 shillings was a lot of money. Used to take half a loaf. I remember the canteen where we used to hang all of us during tea time. It was helter-skelter. For those who are in my school can remember. So I used to have enough money to even go for trips, not for my parents, and I learned how to be able to generate income. So one day I remember in high school I was caught with so many materials. That knife, several, I used to have spares for those special needles for doing shoes, and a lot of uzis zilikuwa zimejaa kwa box. They used to do random searches at night. There are guys who used to do drugs in high school. My high school was in Nyahururu, Durumo High School, next to Minor Village. So there are guys who used to sneak out every time, come back with drugs, go to eat food, and all that. So these guys used to come, the teacher on duty sometimes used to come at 2 a.m., the midnight. Mnaamshwa nyinyi wote, all the lights are on in the dormitory, you open your box. So they used to search. So one day I was caught, and they were wondering, why do I have all these knives? Why do I have all these needles? Now the mob, what do you do? And that teacher was, for some few minutes, he focused on my box. It is still an interesting episode because they were looking, I think, for drugs. He looked at me, asked me what I told him. I usually, for my shoes and for my friends, I usually do repair their shoes. For some reason, I was known to be a guy I used to top all the classes from 1 to Form 4. So I was known in school, and this teacher knew me. For some reason, he did not pursue the case. I thought I would be expelled or suspended. So that's how serious it was. So every month I used to make some good money in high school until I was in Form 4. I remember one of the business skills I learned is that there's this other guy who used to come every Saturday. For me, I was 24/7. He used to serve all the students. There were so many shoes in my room. So this guy was charging 40. I decided to be charging that. I was better. My services were better, 24/7, and cheaper. So everyone used to come to me. I don't know whether he wondered where his business was going down, but I learned so much. I was able to take care of myself. I've also done other businesses in the course of life. I've not done them because maybe of being passionate. I just learned I could do them, and I was interested in entrepreneurship. But I came from a humble background. Basically, I was born in a family of 9, 4 brothers, 4 sisters. I'm somewhere in the middle, a middle born. And I was born in Nyandarua, brought up in Laikipia. My father was a veterinary officer, retired, and we used to move from places to places. So I even changed primary schools at some point. That's where I'm coming from. Basically, our family was, we are from a humble background. Tumekula shida kidogo, just like many of you, and young men out there who have come from similar background. They have worked hard, not because they were so passionate, but because no one wants to go back to that life. So I'm coming from such a background, but in the process, I was able to learn some talents I have. So I have done other things like we were just next to a forest. We used to burn charcoal with my sister for a short stint. I think when I was in Form 3, looks like child labor. Made so much money, by the way. Never used to ask for pocket money from my parents. My father used to pay my school fees, though sometimes it was very difficult. So I have also at some point sold cabbages. That was still in high school. As I used to shift from one business idea to another. I realized I could deliver cabbages to far off people. I used to have a bicycle, well done, used to service it so well. You get like 20 cabbages, put them in a bicycle, very strong, and then you go around. I used to make my rounds for like 2-3 hours, and then I'm done. Then I make my 100 shillings profit almost every day. So basically I learned many things, and that's how I learned I can do business. But when I went to school, I used to perform very well. There was no question about it. I think my parents did not question my academic angles. I would not say I was a bad student, but anything that stopped me from doing business is something I used to fight with all. But when I went to school, I topped the classes, and it was much easier for me to survive. I've done many other things in life, and I'll be sharing more of these stories as we go along. And that is my background. That's how I was able to know that I can do business. And one last thing, if you're out there, maybe you just started your first job, second job, there are people who are comedians in themselves, there are people who are playwrights, there are people who are producers, there are people who are sportsmen. I would ask you to pursue that talent. It's not too late. Even if you are 30 years old, there are times when you feel you can't change. Like the way we started, username started as a side hustle. You can start something without compromising your employer's time. There are people who have flexible working hours. They work at night, during the day they are idle. You have weekends with you where you can be able to, there are people who are very good MCs, very good photographers, people you have worked with and they have branched off. You can be able to pursue that. Sometimes it's not because of money. You don't want to just become this. Sometimes you do it because you want to pursue your purpose. You don't know where your greatness lies. You only know by pursuing those things. Some of them are so clear to you. You started long time ago. Remember, we had musicians, even in primary, guys and ladies who used to lead in songs every time and do it so well. If only they were able to pursue those talents. Guys who would draw so well, if only they were able to pursue those talents. So be inspired today. I want to believe this story can help you take action, like I've been saying. Change your life, change that of your family, change that of our country. I would like to share more, especially on my education background, some things you can learn about education, some things that you can take home, especially from my experience, and be able to do something about it.